On the news, Nigerian government designates Simon Ekpa 16 others as terrorism funders. A bill to relieve INEC of party registration role scales second reading. And Tinubu leads tributes for late former presidential spokesman Doyin Okupe. It's a pleasure to have you join News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Joy Uchejim. The Nigerian Sanctions Committee has designated 17 individuals and organizations as terrorism financiers. Those named on the list include Simon Ekpa, the leader of a faction of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, which the Nigerian government has since designated a terrorist group. Other names on the list are God's Time Promise Iyare, Igwe Kala Enterprises, Sevikovi Global Company, and Lakurawa Group, amongst others. According to a document issued by the committee, the list was approved by the President upon the recommendation of the Attorney General of the Federation. The committee ordered the immediate freezing of bank accounts and financial instruments associated with the listed individuals and entities across multiple banks, payment platforms, and financial institutions. And President Bola Tinubu has led tributes for a former presidential spokesman, Doyin Okupe, who died on Friday morning, describing the late politician as one who played a significant role in Nigeria's political landscape. Okupe died at 72 following a battle with illness. In his tribute to the Ogun-born politician, Tinubu spokesman Bayo Ononuga said Okupe was a bold and articulate advocate for national development. Similarly, former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi expressed immense sadness over his death. Ogun State's Governor Dapo Abiodun, as well as other political figures, also joined in mourning Okupe, recognizing his contributions to Nigeria's political and medical sectors. In the meantime, President Bola Tinubu has granted automatic employment to all 774 fellows under the newly launched National Health Fellows Program after their one-year service. Tinubu made the offer at the presidential launch of the program aimed at revitalizing Nigeria's primary healthcare system. TV360's Victoria Konde completes the report.
Excited cheers greeted President Bola Tinubu's declaration of automatic employment for 774 fellows of the National Health Program. While speaking at the presidential launch of the program in Abuja, President Tinubu described the National Health Fellows Initiative as one of several platforms provided by his administration to empower Nigerian youths and enable them contribute to the nation's health sector.
Your selection is just not about recruitment. It's a proof of our commitment of creating a country where equal opportunities exist for every Nigerian, and we can build a dream with them. You are the greatest asset of this country. Every journey like this may begin with certainty and uncertainties. But be assured that we, as the preamble in our Constitution, we the people, you are the people, we will give our best to ensure the strong science and you develop, and Nigeria will be a country.
Speaking further, The Coordinating Minister of Health and Welfare urged federal, state and local governments to integrate the fellows chosen from the nation's 774 local government areas into the workforce to support universal health coverage.
774 national health fellows are key agents. They are the social accountability agents to ensure that we build further on the momentum to recreate, to renew the Nigerian health sector. These young men and women are the best of the crop of 360,000 applicants within a week, online applicants who went through a rigorous process of selection.
By being skilled and enabled, financed and empowered, you can stay here in Nigeria and export your services across the internet. Financial services, technology services, coding, advisory, training, education, all these services you as young Nigerians will be able to provide to the world.
The fellows, who have been undergoing training since February 27, 2025, under the Sector-Wide Approach Coordination Office, will spend the next year monitoring primary healthcare centers across Nigeria's 774 local government areas. The Minister of Health further highlighted the fellows' crucial role in driving innovation and supporting the ambitious plan to increase primary healthcare centers from 8,809 to 17,618 by 2027. Victoria Akonde, TV360 News, Lagos.
And the suit filed by Honorable Mudashiru Obasa to challenge his removal as Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly was adjourned on Friday at the State High Court sitting in Ikeja. Justice Yetunde Finhero adjourned till Monday, March 10th, to hear all new and pending applications in the matter. The judge ordered all parties to file and serve all necessary processes to enable the courts to hear all the pending applications at the next adjourned date. In some of the pending applications, the Deputy Speaker and 36 other lawmakers are asking the court to dismiss the suit or strike it out. They submitted that the matter has become an academic exercise. And following the expiration of the 48-hour ultimatum issued to the chairman and commissioners of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission to appear before it, the Rivers State House of Assembly has given them another 72 hours to do so. The lawmakers reached the resolution during plenary in Port Harcourt on Friday. The move followed a request brought by one of the lawmakers, Enemi George. This was deliberated with the House voting to extend the ultimatum to Monday, March 10th, to enable the chairman of the Rivers SAIEC, Justice Adolphus Enebeli, and other officials to appear before it. And a bill for an act to establish an independent authority for the registration, regulation, and funding of political parties in Nigeria has scaled the second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill seeks to also establish a dispute tribunal and regulate the funding of political parties, as well as utilization of the funds. The bill, which was sponsored by the Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas, and another lawmaker, Marcus Onobun, further seeks to ensure transparency and a stable democracy.
Consequently, Clause 2 to 5 of these bills make provision for registration of political parties. In accordance with the provision of the bill, the registrar of political parties established under Clause 29 of this bill shall oversee the registration of political parties, merger of political parties, regulate the funding and the use of political parties' funds. Secondly, the bill seeks to establish the political parties dispute tribunal under Clause 35, which shall determine dispute between members of political parties, dispute between members of political parties and a political party, dispute between political parties, between independent candidates and a political party, dispute between coalition partners, and appeals from the decision of the registrar under this bill. Conclusively, Mr. Speaker, the credibility, health, and well-being of every democracy are hinged on the effective regulation of the political parties. Therefore, to ensure transparency and stable democracy, it cannot be business as usual for political parties and key actors where anything goes. It is my prayers that this honorable House and my colleagues support this bill. If we must save our democracy, the time is now.
Let's now discuss this further with political affairs analyst Alester Wilcox. Thank you for your time, sir. Now, a bill for an act to create an independent authority for the registration, regulation, and funding of political parties in Nigeria has passed the second reading in the House of Representatives. Can you help us understand the reasons why INEC should be relieved of these responsibilities and the potential benefits if the bill is passed into law?
Well, thank you for having me. I hope you can hear me clearly.
I can, yes. Go ahead.
Yes. This notion is not new. It has been touted and muted for a long time that INEC is overburdened and INEC should be unbundled. As a matter of fact, some school of thoughts are suggesting that INEC should be empowered into 3 areas, whereby one body will be solely for election, the other solely for after-election litigations, and the other for pre-election, which is political parties, registrations, and processes. Well, the merit in it is the fact that we understand the fact that concentrating too much power on one person, on one body, is getting to it brings abuse and sometimes inefficiency. So those who are looking on that from that point of view, they have a point. But again, if you look at it from the other flip side, you are just trying to overburden the bureaucracy. I mean, overburden the federal government. You know, by the time you create 3 different bodies, you know what that entails. When we are talking about slimmer government, I mean, just like what U.S. President Trump is doing in America now, trying to shrink the federal government and trying to shrink and save resources, even though some of us are not in full support of what he's doing. But everybody should think of how to shrink rather than enlarge. The legislators have a good intention, but I think that within the system, it can be better managed than creating more layers of bureaucracy, more layers of bodies that will now still draw from the same lean federal government resources and more money going for a recurrent expenditure than going to capital expenditure that will truly need. So these are the 2 sides of the argument. Whichever side that the legislators fall in, when Nigerians have no choice than to follow. Because even these days, our democracy is one that I cannot understand. Nobody interprets the constitution very well. If you read one part, they will tell you the other part. So Nigerians are totally confused, and I think it is creating this enchantment in the political atmosphere of this country.
All right, thank political affairs analyst Alester Wilcox. Thank you for your input. And away from politics, 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, is facing a leadership crisis as 2 factions have emerged. While one faction is led by Reverend Joseph Hayab, another faction is led by Reverend Yakubu Pam. Recently, both factions addressed separate press conferences in Kaduna, where each side claimed to be the authentic leadership of the association. The leaders of both factions spoke in an exclusive interview with TV360 Nigeria to clarify their positions on the matter.
To put the record straight, we did a first term of 3 years. That means there was a constitution or bylaw that guided us for 3 years. We had another second time of 3 years. That means we were guided by our documents. But to just on the road change the rules and say, no, it's 4 years. Okay, how will you tell Baba that served for the first 3 years and the second 3 years I booted him out that you have 4 years where he only served 3 years? You can see that you were not fair to him, which shows that you either not telling the truth or you are not fair to the man. So when the other second 3 years ended, you are now saying that no, you're supposed to serve 4 years. Okay, let's make it 4 years and give you a gift of 1 year. That means you're supposed to have left in 2023. So you have added now 1 year, 9 months, and 3 weeks. But if you want to go by the official documents that we have, And as leaders of the church, who's supposed to be honest, who's supposed to set example, who's supposed to show people what to do, we're supposed to live in 2022. So they have exceeded their tenure by 2 years and over 9 months. So they are almost even in the third month. That means the third time that some people couldn't get in politics, some people are getting it in Cannes. So members felt, wait a minute, these people by law have exceeded their tenure. Even if it is 1 month, that means they don't have even the power again to call for a meeting. Neither do they have the power to preside the next election. If we do not act responsibly, we will lose our right to challenge politicians who elongate their tenure.
My tenure of 4 years elapsed last year, March, which I called for meeting and I told them, look, I am forced to leave. They said, no. We met last year, early last year, and we agreed that, look, the bylaw must be reviewed before I leave office. So when they got to finish the bylaw around November or so, and then we called for a meeting in December last year, and the brethren said, no, December is a Christmas time. Let's do it in January. So we came to Kaduna. All of us came to Kaduna in January for meeting. Reverend Hayab was not there. He is under discipline. He has been suspended. We know the power game they played. All the chairmen who were there were busy communicating with us. How do we know that something was going on? We released a press statement that night. How do we know? Because most of them were not in agreement. They invited the governor of Benue to be there. But when the governor of Benue went there, he was told that, look, the whole thing here is not being truth. One, if there's going to be election, they have never done a Northern Kan election in Abuja. They do it in their headquarters in Kaduna. How do you conduct a Northern Kan election in Abuja? For what reason? Do we not have a headquarters?
It's now time for a short break. Still to come on News Now. All Paris Eurostar services cancelled after an unexploded World War II bomb was discovered. Details of this story after this break. Welcome back. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. The Nigerian Sanctions Committee has designated 17 individuals and organizations terrorism financiers. According to a document issued by the committee, the list was approved by the President upon the recommendation of the Attorney General of the Federation. We also told you that a bill for an act to provide for the establishment of an independent authority for the registration, regulation and funding of political parties in Nigeria has scaled second reading in the House of Representatives. Now, in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world. A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
A switch now to business news, and Victoria Konde is on standby for updates. Over to you, Victoria.
Thank you very much, Joy. Welcome to Business News. Now, experts in the country have hailed Nigeria's decision to join the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development as a significant step forward, one that will foster development in the country. This announcement was made during the bank's 2023 annual meeting in Samarkand. Speaking in an exclusive interview with TV360 Nigeria, economist Segun Sokwinton emphasized that while Nigeria's move is important, it is important for Africa to harness local funds to solve the continent's unique issues, as this approach is the key to breaking free from dependency on foreign aid and external financial support.
I think it's a good development once you understand the structure of the EBRD and the objectives of its existence. Once you realize that it's not necessarily akin to the World Bank, for example, it's a multilateral developmental financial institution, but that has private sector tones to its operational model. The idea being for them to harness private capital, investment funds, combine that with the share capital contributed by all of the various shareholders to then, make funds available either as loans or as equity contribution, loan guarantees, partner funding for private projects mostly. So what you find is the developmental opportunities for member countries stem from partnerships between the governments of those member countries and private sector operators working on projects in specific sectors within those economies.
Right now, we would go on a short break and be back with stock market updates. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's the final trading day of the week and the Nigerian equities market closed in negative territory, declining by 0.23%. The market capitalization now stands at 66.7 trillion naira. A total of 126 NGS listed equities were actively traded, with 34 gainers and 18 losers. On the losing side, Ikeja Hotel recorded the steepest decline, shedding 9.7% to close at 10 naira 70 kobo per share, and was followed closely by Transcorp Nigeria. At the close of trading on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, over 349 billion shares were exchanged in 11,911 deals, amounting to a market value exceeding 9 billion naira. And when this is compared to the previous trading session, which is Thursday, the 6th of March, today's figures reflect a 7% decline in volume, a 4% drop in turnover, but a 4% uptick in the number of deals. Now, turning to the global markets, the bearish sentiment persisted, with the major indices closing in the red. The UK's FTSE, the US Dow Jones, and Japan's Nikkei all posted losses. Meanwhile, in the foreign exchange markets, the naira traded at 1,580 naira per dollar in the black market, and also traded at 2,000 naira per British pound and at 1,650 naira per euro. That's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Joy, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Victoria. And on the foreign scene, President Volodymyr Zelensky has confirmed another massive attack on Ukraine by the Russian army. In a post on his official X handle on Friday, Zelensky said the Russian army used nearly 70 missiles, both cruise and ballistic, as well as almost 200 attack drones on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. According to Zelensky, various facilities in several regions, including Odessa, Poltava, Chernihiv, and Ternopil, were attacked in the unfortunate attacks. This is coming barely 24 hours after a deadly attack on a Ukraine hotel that led to the death of at least 4 persons and injury of about 30 others. And still on the foreign scene, trains to and from Paris have been cancelled, an area evacuated, and parts of the main ring road temporarily closed following the discovery of an unexploded World War II bomb on tracks leading to Gare du Nord station. Eurostar services at Gare du Nord were called off for the day after the 500 kg bomb was found on tracks in the Paris suburb of Saint-Denis during overnight work. French Transport Minister Philippe Tarabot stated that local rail services at Gare Nord would not resume until at least late afternoon. Tarabot reassured the public that a bomb disposal team was on site and there was no immediate danger. Eurostar also indicated that services were expected to return to normal by Saturday. And finally on sports, Jurgen Klopp has confirmed he will return to Liverpool on the final day of his Premier League campaign after being invited back by his successor Arne Slot. Klopp has not been back at Anfield since he left at the end of last season. The German admits he did not want to return so he does not jinx the Reds' bid to become Premier League champions. The Reds have exceeded all expectations in Slot's first season in England. Liverpool are currently 13 points clear of Arsenal at the top of the table and are set to be crowned champions. And 4 years after the death of football legend Diego Maradona, 7 healthcare professionals are set to stand trial next week, facing charges of medical negligence in his final days. The trial, scheduled to begin on Tuesday in San Isidro, Buenos Aires, will span 4 months and feature testimony from over 100 witnesses, including Maradona's family and former doctors. The defendants are charged with reckless homicide and could face prison sentences ranging from 8 to 25 years. Maradona, who passed away on November 25, 2020, at the age of 60, was recovering from brain surgery for a blood clot at the time of his death. He remains a deeply revered figure in Argentina, with ongoing tributes throughout the country. And that's the bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. I am Joy Ucheji. See you next time.